Showdown in Parliament for the second day in a row over TMC MP Kalyan Banerjee's mimicry. BJP MP stood through the whole question hour in Rajya Sabha in solidarity with Rajya Sabha chairperson Jagdeep Dhankhar. However, in an exclusive conversation with NDTV's Rajiv Ranjan, the TMC MP said he was not copying Dhankhar. He also claimed that the Prime Minister himself had mimicked someone in the Parliament earlier.
MP को सस्पेंड किया है, ये मॉकरी ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी हो गया। मिमिक्री एक तो आर्ट है, हमारा कोई इंटेंशन नहीं था उनको हार्ट करने के लिए।
After 2 days of a war of words between the government and opposition over his mimicry of Rajya Sabha chairperson Jagdeep Dhankhar, TMC MP expressed regret today, though not an apology.
Sri Thomas and Sri M. Arif MPs.
Suspensions continued with 2 more MPs being suspended, Thomas Chazikadan and AM Arif, taking the total suspensions in both houses to 143. Protests by the opposition demanding a statement from the Home Minister on security breach on December 13 also continued for the 5th day. Meanwhile, both the Prime Minister and President extended their support to Jagdeep Dhankhar.
जगदीप धनखड़ की कितनी बेइज्जती करो मुझे कोई चिंता नहीं है, पर मैं ये बर्दाश्त कभी नहीं करूंगा कि मेरे पद की गरिमा मैं सुरक्षित नहीं रख पाया। इस सदन की गरिमा को सुरक्षित रखना मेरा काम है।
जोकर का काम पकड़ लिया उन्होंने, जोकर वाला काम पकड़ लिया।
Lok Sabha saw empty benches of opposition as 3 bills to replace the IPC, CRPC and the Indian Evidence Act were passed.
हमारे संविधान का जो स्पिरिट है, वो स्पिरिट के हिसाब से कानून बनने जा रहा है।
The bills look at increasing the ambit of terrorism, bringing in counterfeit notes and smuggling into its ambit. It also has a separate section on mob lynching, equating it to murder. There were also discussions on CGST, Telecom Bill and other bills in Rajya Sabha. But with the opposition readying for a nationwide protest on Friday, a lot of action is anticipated from both sides on Thursday. With Vasudha Venugopal, NDTV Bureau Report. Now, as we said, the 3 new criminal law bills were passed in the Lok Sabha today. My colleague Neeta Sharma explains on how these bills differ from the older laws.
The government says that they needed to change, and now the new laws are more victim-centric. They are more concentrating on women and children, the weaker lot, the government says. As far as victim-centric is concerned, you know, earlier we used to see whenever a victim used to go to a police station to register its FIR, saying that the crime did not fall in their jurisdiction, they used to make her go from one police station to another. But as per new law, that is the BNS, a zero FIR can be registered regardless where the crime has taken place. Now she would have the right to information. An FIR copy would have to be given to her as soon as possible, and she would also have right to get information so far as what investigations are going on within 90 days. That is the stipulated time period prescribed in the law, that you need to provide her whatever investigations that you are doing. Another cases of rape, gang rape or sexual assault, each statement of the victim would be videographed. This again is needed because we have seen many a times accused exert pressure on victims to change their statements or also withdraw cases. But now once her statement is recorded, that loophole would not be used by the accused party. Secondly, the main important law is as far as the terrorism is concerned. Earlier they were defined in special laws, whether it's UAPA or MCOCA. But the Union Home Minister says that in certain states the special laws are not there. In those states, the cases, if any case was being registered, it was registered under CRPC, and the accused used to get a benefit of doubt and his quantum of punishment used to come down. So now there would be a uniform law throughout the country.
Now, the opposition is putting up a united front in the parliament, but there are new friction points which have emerged within the India bloc. From the Mimicry Row to opposition's PM face choice, parties within the alliance are seen sparring on multiple issues.
Unprecedented suspensions of opposition MPs seemed to unite the India bloc. But in reality, it split wide open in the opposition bloc. A day after the fourth meeting of India bloc, more differences than points of convergences emerge. TMC Supremo Mamata Banerjee kicking up a new controversy by alleging that it was Rahul Gandhi's recording of mimicry done by Kalyan Banerjee of Jagdeep Dhankhar that made it a big controversy.
क्यों आप ऐसा बात करते हैं? हम तो रेस्पेक्ट करते हैं सबको ना. एक डिसरेस्पेक्ट का कोई बात नहीं होता है. इसको जस्ट पॉलिटिकली कैजुअली आपको तो पता भी नहीं चलता अगर राहुल जी वीडियो में छवि नहीं टूटता तो.
This prompted a fact check by Rahul Gandhi, who had to clarify that he hasn't shared or given the video he took and it's still with him.
वहाँ पे MPs बैठे हुए थे. मैंने उनका वीडियो लिया. मेरा वीडियो मेरे फोन पे है. मीडिया दिखा रहा है. मीडिया कह रहा है.
This wasn't the only issue that exposed the chinks in opposition unity.
इंडिया गठबंधन के वो जन्मदाता हैं, वो बगैर संयोजक के इसके जन्मदाता भी हैं और इसके संयोजक भी हैं.
Sources say that both the Bihar leaders, Lalu Yadav and Nitish Kumar, are upset with Mamata Banerjee and Arvind Kejriwal proposing the name of Mallikarjun Kharge as the prime ministerial face of the alliance in the meeting. The 12 other party bosses, in fact, batted for Kharge.
खड़गे जी को होना चाहिए. खड़गे जी अगर फेस होगा तो ठीक है. और हमको सपोर्ट दिया है अरविंद केजरीवाल.
Kharge himself turned it down by saying that leader of the alliance should be decided post the elections. The wedge between the Congress and Samajwadi Party also playing out, with some UP Congress leaders suggesting that Mayawati's BSP should be invited to join the opposition bloc. Samajwadi Party threatening to walk out of it if such a proposal is mooted. If this wasn't enough, the North-South divide has also created friction between Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar and Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin on the Hindi language issue. With elections just few months away, opposition's first big event will be nationwide protests against the suspension of its MPs. But the big question remains, can just defeat Modi be a glue for this bloc? With Sunil Prabhu, this is Marya Shakil for NDTV.
Shifting focus now, and nearly 20,000 people are still stranded in Thoothukudi in southern Tamil Nadu amid unprecedented rains. The army joined rescue operations today as the deluge continued for the fourth day. There were no fresh rains now. In fact, that's the case for 3 days. But snapped rail and road connectivity have emerged as challenges for the rescue teams. Sam Daniel reports from Thoothukudi.
Three days since the rain stopped, but the desperate need for food and essentials continues for thousands who are marooned in Tuticorin. More than 20,000 people along the river Tamarabarani are still cut off without electricity, food and water. The Coast Guard and Air Force are reaching out, but it's impossible to reach everyone in need. Apollo was struck in neck-deep waters. He's now moving to neighbouring Trinamool with his family.
Situation is very bad. This is a natural calamity. Right. We couldn't complain to any government.
Tempers are running high. Here, women are blocking the Tirunelveli-Tuticorin highway. They've lost everything in floods, but they say not a single MLA has visited them so far. They say they've been left to fend for themselves. Traffic came to a halt on this highway for more than 3 hours as desperate and angry people protested the lack of help. Among the protesters is this single mother who told me she lost everything to the floods and doesn't even have a change of clothing.
நாங்க இப்ப அதோகதியா நிக்கோம். எம்எல்ஏ அங்க இருக்காங்க. அவங்களுக்கு எந்த பாதிப்பும் கிடையாது. ஓட்டறது எந்த பாதிப்பும் கிடையாது. அவங்க வீட்டு சேஃப்டியா இருக்காங்க. வரலாம்ல. இவ்வளவு வண்டி வரும்போது அவங்க ஏன் வர முடியாது?
The army and 2 teams of NDRF accessed more cut-off areas, including the worst affected Sri Vaikuntham. But it's taken far too long.
3 lake overflow waters, 1,400 acre waters in overflow in 3 villages in buildings are height.
Amid anger over delay in relief supplies, finally the Army and NDRF accessing several maroon pockets across Tuticorin gives a ray of hope for the thousands stranded still without food, water and electricity for the fourth day. This also underscores the quantum of the calamity that MK Stalin, the Chief Minister, wants the Prime Minister to declare as a national disaster. In Tuticorin with Suresh, Sam Daniel, for NDTV.
Shifting tracks now, and 21 cases of JN1, a new COVID variant, has been reported in the country. Soumya Swaminathan, former chief scientist of the WHO, spoke to my colleague Vishnu Shom and saying that citizens must be cautious. There's nothing much to worry about now, but they must maintain vigil as the actual spread of the new variant will be clear in a few weeks with more testing.
We'd taken a lot of steps in India, oxygen plants being installed in hospitals, more ventilators, more devices, more basic care. Do you believe that whatever we had set up to deal with the emergency then needs to be reactivated? Because we are a huge country, and it just statistically, if you have a large number of infections, there will be that transfer of cases to hospitals.
That's right. And I think because it's a season with many respiratory illnesses, it's even more important that hospitals be prepared, because the majority of these infections, even if they become pneumonia, they can be treated. We know how to treat COVID now. We are at a very different stage than we were in 2020. We know how to treat influenza, pneumonia. We know how to treat different pneumonias, mycoplasma, whatever infections are going around. So I think the preparation of the hospitals is important. I think mock drills have happened in many states to test the response as well as to test the adequacy and functioning of the oxygen, the ventilators, all those things that we had prepared. So in a way, it's a good test for our system to do this once in a while, to be absolutely ready and prepared and not have any nasty surprises when we actually need to use all of those things that, we have invested in.
Right, we'll slip into a short break at this point in time. More news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. News now from Karnataka. The school bag is often way heavier than it should be, and that has serious consequences for children. In an effort to cut that burden, the Karnataka government wants to split textbooks and replace notebooks with papers. Will that work? That's what Pratibha Raman tries to find out.
As the school bell rings, the weight on their backs is way too much. Guidelines are that a school bag should not be more than 15% of a child's body weight. But that's just a guideline on paper. It's to lower this load that the Karnataka government has now decided to cut textbook size by 50% for classes 1 to 10 in government schools.
It's a good decision, because if we carry more than the whole syllabus in a single book, it would be heavy for us. But if they make two partitions, then we can carry each book for each semester and it would reduce the bag weight.
If the state's new measures are followed strictly from the next academic year, then the weight of the bags of children of class 1 and 2 will be between 1.5 kg to 2 kg, 2 to 3 kg for classes 3 to 5, 3 to 4 kg for class 6 to 8, and 4 to 5 kg for classes 9 and 10.
It is not about cost, it is about safety. Somewhere we have to, sometimes it does cost, I won't say no. But end of the safety and the issue, that's very important.
The government is also looking to replace notebooks with paper sheets. But not everyone agrees that textbooks and notebooks are the problem.
Within 15% of the body weight, it is already there. We are not finding any much importance of it. But we have a demand that from 1 to 4th, you have to revise par with NCF and NCERT curriculum framework.
Heavy bags are a heavy burden. This welcome move of the Karnataka Education Department may be embraced by the government schools, but will private schools that prescribe to state syllabus follow suit? With camera person Kumar, Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru for NDTV.
Now, the UP government has announced a major relief measure for real estate sector, announcing that interest and penalties will be waived off for the entire pandemic period. This will help builders to complete several stalled projects which were stuck due to lack of funds, and also clear the way for flat registrations which had been on hold in several societies in Noida. Now, even as this raises hopes for home buyers, several people say implementation of the measures is key.
In major relief to Noida builders reeling under debt and lakhs of home buyers waiting for their dream homes, the Uttar Pradesh government has waived off interest and penalty for the pandemic period. The UP cabinet has cleared Amitabh Kant committee's proposal to declare 46 months under COVID curbs as zero period. In Noida, there are about 67,000 flats either incomplete or delivered to buyers but yet to be registered. With interest and dues to the Noida authority waived, builders will get the financial elbow room to finish stalled projects. And the civic authority will allow registration of completed projects by the builders.
मैं इस कमेटी का हिस्सा था जो सबसे बड़ी होम बायर्स के रिलीफ के लिए कमेटी बनाई गई थी। इस कमेटी में हम लोगों ने यही प्रस्ताव दिया था कि होम बायर्स जो 2 लाख 2.5 लाख से ज्यादा होम बायर्स फंसे हुए हैं उन्हें कैसे रिलीफ मिला जाए, क्योंकि सबसे बड़ा स्टेक उनका ही है।
While builders are welcoming the decision, home buyers are unsure.
जो बायर है सबसे ज्यादा फायदा अगर देखा जाए तो बायर को होगा, जिसने अपना पैसा लगा रखा, करोड़ों रुपए मकान में आज पूरे मिडिल क्लास लोग विकास खरीदते हैं, जो जीवन भर की कमाई को लगा रखते हैं, उनका भी पैसा सिक्योर होगा और प्राइसिंग सब्सिक्वेंट एस्केलेट करेगी जब बनने के बाद।
रजिस्ट्री नहीं हुआ है। सर ने भी बताया कि अगर भूकंप आ जाता है, कोई किसी तरह का कोई हो जाता है तो हमें किसी तरह का कोई पैसा नहीं कंपनसेट नहीं मिलेगा।
तो ये कितने सालों से चल रहा है सर?
ये 2010 से ले रखा है हमने घर। 2010 से 13 साल से ये चल रहा है। 5 साल से मैं उस घर में रह भी रहा हूँ।
The UP Cabinet's approval of the Amitabh Kant Committee's proposal seems to be a win-win for both buyers as well as builders of the NCR region. While some buyers call it a political gimmick, others are in hope that these proposals will be implemented soon. With camera person Sachin Gupta, this is Sri Rupa Goswami for NDTV.
International updates now, and former US President Donald Trump has been disqualified from contesting the Colorado primary polls in next year's presidential elections for his role in inciting the Capitol riots. This after the Colorado court passed the order. Now, Trump is the first presidential candidate in US history to face such an action. However, he has in fact been given the option to appeal in the US Supreme Court.
Another legal setback for former US President Donald Trump. As the Supreme Court of Colorado ruled on Tuesday that he is barred from the Colorado primary ballot and disqualified from serving as president again because he engaged in insurrection by inflaming his supporters with false claims of election fraud and directed them to the US Capitol building on January 6, 2021. The court paused the decision to allow Trump the opportunity to appeal, which the Trump campaign has vowed to do swiftly. While it is a historic ruling, it doesn't mean that Trump can't run for the US president come 2024, as the final decision will be taken by the US Supreme Court. After the decision was announced, Trump took to his social media, Truth Social, and exclaimed, "Election interference." The Trump campaign has said that the Colorado court's decision is completely flawed and the US Supreme Court will rule in Trump's favor. The focus now shifts to the US Supreme Court as it holds the key to Trump's political future. With Vishal Vivek, Bureau Report, NDTV.
And with that, it's a wrap on the bulletin. Keep watching NDTV for more news and updates.